Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. She came in at 1:40 a.m. with a duffel bag, and that looked like I'd just interrupted a rehearsal. The porch light caught a smear of lipstick on the zipper. She froze when she saw me on the couch. "You're home." Lana set the bag down slow. "Wild, I know. I live here." I nudged my phone. "How was the workshop?" "What workshop?" "The one from your post. Men think they own you, not this one." "That workshop." She blinked twice. "Too careful. You're scrolling my feed at night now?" "I'm scrolling my wife posting slogans right before a business trip with her coach to a lake cabin. Same weekend you told me you're resetting boundaries. Funny geography for boundaries." She looked at the bag, then at me. "You are being intense, Scott. If I'd known where this was headed, I'd have brought popcorn." She rolled the duffel into the hall like it might go hide itself. "We can talk tomorrow. I'm exhausted." "You'll sleep great," I said. "Door code changes at 7. Her face twitched. "What?" "New code. And the shared cards off. Personal cards on the table. Groceries, gas. No big purchases. Receipts stay here. You're controlling me." "I'm controlling my money. You're free as a bird." She laughed once, short and flat. "We'll discuss your restrictions tomorrow. Well rested. Without the slogans." She stared another second, then took the bag to the guest room. I heard the zipper and thought, this wasn't a stumble, it was choreography. In the morning, she came into the kitchen in leggings and a hoodie, hair perfect for someone who was exhausted. I'd set out 2 mugs, poured mine black. The other stayed empty. "You're serious about the code?" She leaned on the island like a client giving notes. "Yep." "Who told you to do that?" "Tyler. He hates me." "Tyler loves me. He's biased." I pointed at the whiteboard where I'd written new house logistics. Groceries, separate. Gas, separate. Mortgage and utilities, my lane until we decide anything else. No new subscriptions, no mystery charges. Car insurance stays. You keep the Subaru. I'll send the new policy ID. You think you can cut me off? I'm saying I'm no longer funding a story I didn't write. She opened the fridge, closed it, opened it again. "What were you doing home last night?" "Schedules change. My client moved a review, so I came back early." I took a sip. Odd that a coaching retreat happens at the exact lake house where couples go for anniversaries. "Eric books venues all over," she said. "It's scenic." "And the slogan?" She pulled her phone from the hoodie pocket. "Oh, so I'm not allowed to have thoughts. You're allowed to have an audience. I'm allowed to decline sponsorship." A pause. She softened a touch, as if she'd found a new script. "Look, I've been feeling stuck. The posts are about me finding myself. It's not about you. It becomes about me when the finding looks like logistics." Logistics? Separate bank account. Apartment tours. Second phone. All that is logistics. Her head snapped up. "You went through my things." I looked at the joint statements. "That's my right." And I saw a not-so-subtle charge from a carrier store. "And a deposit into an unknown savings account that matches your work check almost to the dollar. That is my money." "Exactly. Keep it. Just keep it out of our marriage." She set the phone down so carefully it didn't make a sound. "You're paranoid. Then this will be quick. We'll sit with a neutral financial planner Thursday. We freeze the joint savings. 2 signatures for any move. We'll run a simple, boring budget. You want freedom? Freedom can afford itself." She smirked. "You're punishing me for changing." "No. I'm adjusting to what you already changed." She grabbed the empty mug and made a show of rinsing it twice. "You can't throw rules at me and expect me to salute. I'm not asking for a salute. I'm telling you how I'm going to live." Her phone lit on the counter. A preview popped up, Lake Place confirmed, from a number not in her contact name scheme. She flipped it face down in one move. "Who's that?" I asked. "Jess. We're walking later." Of course. I finished my coffee and grabbed my jacket. "Planner Thursday at 4. If you won't come, I'll do what I need anyway. You can't just watch me." I left her there with the dish towel. On the garage door was a new scuff across my truck's tailgate I hadn't noticed last night. Old me would have chalked it up to a trash bin. New me took a photo and marked the time. Not because I wanted to play detective, because I was done playing husband in a play I hadn't auditioned for. I work out of a small design shop in a shared brick building between a yoga studio and a tile place. By noon, I'd moved a few deadlines, shifted passwords, and sent the bank a request to require dual authorization. My office manager, Danny, sharp, practical, leaned on the door frame. "You look like you slept on a couch," she said. "Good eye. Everything okay?" My wife's coach rents lake houses. She posts slogans. "I'm adjusting my budget." "Oh." She glanced at my calendar. "You blocked out Thursday. Want me to reschedule the vendor call?" "Yeah. Also, mark private on the next 2 weeks of afternoons." "Done." She hesitated. "You want the back safe? The one we use for petty cash. I want you to change the code and text it to me." Danny cocked her head. "You protecting something or someone?" "I'm protecting boring money from creative people." She smiled. "Got it." She tapped her phone. "Also, Tyler left you a sandwich in the fridge. He said you forget to eat when you're mad." "I'm not mad," I said. "I'm organized." At 2, I walked to the coffee shop on the corner to clear my head. Lana called before I hit the door. "We need to talk," she said. "Talking? Your little list this morning?" That was demeaning. "Demeaning is me paying for your new Freedom phone." "What phone?" "Don't insult me." Silence, then a sigh through her teeth. "Fine. I got a second line for coaching clients. Eric set it up. It's professional." "Under what name?" "Mine." Funny how it never rang in the house. She pivoted. "Jess and I are going to look at an apartment tonight. She has a friend moving out." "That's fast." "It's for content," she said. "We're filming a tour on what to look for. It's literally work. Enjoy. You won't be using the joint card for any deposits. You can be spiteful if it helps you feel big." "I'm 6 feet. I'm fine." Another pause. She tried a softer tone. "Scott, listen. I know you're threatened by my growth. Save the brochure. I'm saying, maybe I've been harsh. The posts weren't fair to you. Come by tonight. I'll cook. We'll reset." There it was, the first soft landing. I could hear her sorting pans in her head, plating sincerity. I glanced at the coffee shop door and the reflection, the guy who still wanted to believe his wife was just lost. I let myself nod once. "All right," I said. 7. No slogans. "No slogans," she repeated, warm. "Thank you." I hung up and texted Danny to push my late meeting. Then I called Tyler. "She invited you to dinner?" he said. "After the midnight duffel?" "Yep. She's going to run the comm script. Then she'll test the fence again." "I know." "You got your fence ready?" "Stronger than the HOA." "Good." "And Scott, stop ignoring the second phone. That's not a prop." "I'm not ignoring it. I'm documenting." Tyler grunted. "Take photos of the tailgate scuff, too." "Already did." I took my coffee and headed back. One part of me hoped dinner would be normal. The rest of me tightened bolts. She went all in on domestic peace at 7 sharp. Roasted chicken, green beans, 2 place settings, music low. She wore the blue dress I always liked, the kind that made it look like Sundays were still a thing. "Truce," she said, tapping my glass with water. "I've been spun up. I pushed you away. I'm sorry." I watched the apology hover between us like steam. "Okay. You moved fast today." It scared me. I moved like a man who can see the exit sign taped above his door. "Can you not frame me as the enemy?" "I'm framing actions. The person can still change." She brightened, spooned food with ceremony. For 10 minutes, we ate like people who'd decided to be married. She asked about the shop. I told her about a client who wanted a logo with an owl and a compass and a truck and refused to hear the word clutter. She laughed. I wanted to enjoy that laugh. Then her phone buzzed. The second one, the slim black case she thought looked like any other. She slid it under a napkin like a magician hiding a coin. "Work," she said. "Eric's pushing a module." "Which module?" I carved at the chicken. "Lake House or Liberation?" Her fork paused, then resumed. "You're doing it again." "Doing what?" "Picking a fight when I'm trying to make peace." "You wanted a reset." "Resets don't include secret calendars." Her eyes cooled. "If you're going to be like this, maybe we should take a break this weekend. Give each other space." "There's your test," I said quietly. "Space where?" "The lake." "I am not going to the stupid lake." "Good. Then you won't mind this." I slid an envelope onto the table. "This is a simple separation of financial powers. My attorney drafted it last year when we bought the building. Not because of you, because I'm not 22. It says we split day-to-day costs fairly, and no major decision happens without signatures. You want your independence. Here. This preserves both our independence. You have an attorney? Everyone with a business has a professional. She gave the envelope a glance like it bit. So you planned for this. I planned for life. You'd prefer I be sloppy. You prefer to be cold. I prefer to be safe. She pushed back from the table, stood by the sink, and faced the window. It was the pose she used when rehearsing something she needed me to swallow. Eric says fear makes people into dictators. Eric says a lot of things. He thinks you're trying to own me. He tells that to all the married women. Her head snapped around. God, you are small tonight. I'm 6 feet. I repeated, tired of the line and saying it anyway. She stared, searching for a new move. Then came the pivot I expected. She walked back, sat, took my hand with deliberate tenderness. I don't want to lose us. I'm scared. That's the truth. There it was, the second version of soft. Not just dinner, but contact. I let my hand rest in hers for exactly 3 seconds and then withdrew. I hear you, I said. Here's mine. We stop the public slogans about oppression. We stop secret planning. We do the money split. We skip the lake. You focus on your clients with transparency. I focus on mine. We give this 30 days. She nodded too quickly. Yes. Yes to all of that. Good. Because if the lake happens, the conversation ends. It won't, she said. I wanted to believe her. I really did. After dinner, she reached for me in the hall like the old days, the kind of brief, familiar touch that says home. I kissed her forehead and kept walking. Her palm hovered and dropped. At 11:20, a text pinged on her second phone. She left it on the entry table and went to shower. I glanced. Leaving at 6 a.m. We'll have the key. I took a photo. I didn't need to know who he was. The phrasing was enough. At midnight, she came out in a soft tee, hair damp. You coming to bed? I'll be there in a bit. She nodded, went down the hall, turned off the light with that same rehearsed gentleness. I opened my laptop and built a folder. Screenshots, bank movements, the body shop estimate for the tailgate, a copy of her content planning calendar with Murphy's, Thursday, circled in a way that wasn't content. The texts I'd gotten from Jess earlier, don't drag me into this. That one had earned a call from me that afternoon where I told Jess she was already in it. Scott, Jess had said, voice tight, this isn't about you. Everything done in my name is about me. Click, save, label. Sleep came cold and thin. Thursday afternoon, she put on a blazer and heels for the planner meeting. Then, remembered, an urgent coffee with a client. I'll meet you there, she said, sunlight on her face like stage lighting. Don't be late, I told her. I won't, she promised, and didn't show. At the planner's office, I signed the freezes alone. The advisor, retired, calm, watched me as he stamped papers. You're doing the right thing, he said. I'm doing the grown-up thing. Same thing sometimes. As I left, my phone buzzed. A video from Tyler. He was at Murphy's, the neighborhood bar that smells like fryer oil and spilled beer, the place where birthdays became blurrier than they should. He filmed a corner booth. Lana, in the blazer, laughing with Eric, whose hair and teeth were always trying to outshine each other. Jess sat beside them, texting with her head down like she was hiding behind the screen. Tyler's text followed. You still waiting for your planner meeting? I stared at the image until the edges blurred. Then I called Danny. Cancel my 3:30, I said. Send an email to clients about new billing procedures. No shared access for anyone but me on authorizations. Then lock the back file cabinet. I'll pick up the key. Done, she said immediately. You okay? I'm done being polite. I drove to Murphy's, parked around the block. On the way in, I tapped my phone and opened the recording app. I slipped the folder under my arm. At the door, a bouncer I knew named Marcus, big, gentle, nodded. She's in the back, he murmured. Tyler told me to keep an eye out. Thanks, man. You want me to walk you over? I've got it. Murphy's was 3/4 full. TV over the bar, clack of pool balls, someone laughing too loud at nothing, as usual. Lana saw me as I approached and did that fast blink again. The look of an actor who forgot her next line. What are you doing here? She asked, voice bright for the table. Grabbing a seat, I said and slid into the booth beside Jess. Evening, Eric. He swallowed. Scott, hey. I thought you had a financial planner meeting. I cut him off. Yeah. My +1 flaked. Lana found her smile again. We were just brainstorming content. Nothing says content like a late key, I said. Eric shifted. Let's not make this a scene. It already is a scene, I said. I just added a microphone. I placed my phone on the table, screen lit, timer rolling. The red numbers clicked up. Turn that off, Lana snapped. Stay seated, I told her calm. Or walk, if the truth makes your shoes tight. Jess exhaled, somewhere between a plea and a curse at herself. Scott. I set the folder on the table, flipped it open like a dealer with the last hand. Here's where we are. Transactions into a separate account matching your paychecks. Lana. A second phone. Apartment tours with your friend. A tailgate scuff that appeared the night you came home with luggage. A set of draft posts about leaving control, timed with a staged argument in public. This place, I'm guessing, so you can anchor a narrative. And coordinated messages with Eric about a new life that mysteriously requires my money to fund it. Lana's mouth parted. You went through my private. Your private plan to spend what's not yours? Yes. Eric tried to speak. I held up a hand. You work with vulnerable people, right? You talk about integrity, which is a nice word when you say it slow. But it's not integrity to prep a married woman to salt her marriage to boost your brand and step into a life built on someone else's wallet. Don't twist this, he said. She came to me in pain. Then you set the stage. Murphy's. A scripted argument. Extra eyes. You walk her out while she looks shaken. Camera's on. A ribbon of pity to tie around the clip. She lands the final line you wrote. She's free. The crowd claps. The husband becomes a wallet with legs. Stop it, Lana hissed. You don't know what I know? I know you coordinated a spontaneous scene for tonight at this exact table. I slid a printout toward her. Her notes stolen from the kitchen junk drawer, the one marked ideas, the one she thought I never opened. There in pen, Murphy's. 7 p.m., Eric present. Crowd. Jess films from bar. Trigger, money comment. Walkout plan. Jess gulped air. I told you I didn't want to be part of this, she whispered to Lana. Lana didn't look at her. She was locked on me, eyes hard. So what, Scott? You think you can trap me on tape, and what? I'm not trapping you. I'm recording my boundaries. I laid down the paper I'd brought from the planner. Simple terms for an immediate, no-drama dissolution of joint finances and property moves that made sense for two adults. Here's what happens. You both stop the campaign. You cancel the lake. You turn over the second phone and the passwords to the accounts that include my name. You keep your personal account. I won't touch it. We sign this straightforward separation of finances and a quiet split of the house proceeds if we go there. If we don't, we run a transparent budget with monthly reviews. No public stunts. You post a correction. Our marriage is private. No more commentary. You, Eric, step away from advising my wife on anything that touches our home. Eric laughed, a dry, performative sound. You don't get to dictate my professional role. I don't have to. I can send the folder to your client list and to the partners who book your retreats. I can ask Marcus to replay the cameras from last Thursday where you rehearsed this with Jess at the bar. Marcus, who had sidled close pretending to wipe a table, held up a rag and gave a small nod. He wasn't smiling. I placed my palm flat on the folder. Where this ends tonight, quietly. No spectacle. No fire. Just truth. Lana leaned in, voice low. You're threatening me. I'm giving you a way out with dignity. Jess whispered, take it. Eric looked between us like a man reading a contract he didn't write. This is coercion. This is consequence. Different C word. He opened his mouth, closed it. The red numbers on the phone passed 4 minutes. The clack of pool balls carried the only rhythm in the room. Lana broke first. What do you want me to say? Say you're done with the story that I'm your jailer. Say you'll stop running plays to paint yourself as owned so you can walk out with more. Say you'll choose truth over a crowd. She stared at the printouts another beat. Then her shoulders lost an inch without slumping. Fine. Out loud, I said. Not a whisper to the napkin. She swallowed. I'm done with the posts. I won't go to the lake. I'll shut down the second line. We'll separate the money clean and do reviews. No more scenes. Good, I said. Now text your counsel, the one who told you to set up the account in your name only, and say you're not proceeding. And Eric, send a note to your assistant canceling the venue. Eric bristled. You can't order me. You can do it, or you can explain this folder to your next seminar. He stared at me, and for a second I saw the math in his head. He took out his phone, typed with 2 thumbs, jaw tight. There, he muttered. It's canceled. I slid the paper and a pen across to Lana. She signed like she was carving, small strokes, guarded letters. Jess watched with a relief that made me tired. I stopped the recording and pocketed the phone. We're done. Eric stood. You think you've won? I think I've cleaned my house. Lana looked up at me, one last calculation in her eyes. You can't make me love you by turning off my resources. I can make you respect my boundaries by turning off my resources. I stood. Respect was always the currency. She flinched, just a flicker. I left the folder on the table for her to keep, because nothing I had to say would fit on paper. Marcus caught my eye at the door and gave another small nod. Outside, the air felt colder than it was. I dialed Danny. Run the new billing, I told her. And schedule a locksmith for tomorrow at 9. You got it, she said. You sound okay. I'm finished being furniture. The next morning, she tried a final tactic. Coffee on a tray, soft voice at the bedroom doorway where I'd slept alone. I made you your favorite, she said. Vanilla and 2 sugars. I drink it black. You used to like. I used to like a lot of things. She set the tray down on the dresser, hopeful. We can start fresh. We signed a paper, I reminded her. It was just finances. It wasn't us. There is no us where respect doesn't live. She took a step closer. We can get help. From Eric? I picked up my bag. Pack what you want. I'll be at the shop for the day. Marcus is bringing over camera footage for me to keep, in case we need to remember what truth looks like. You're really going to keep this going? Make me the villain in your head. I'm not writing the script, I said. I'm just canceling the show. She laughed once, brittle. You think this makes you some kind of hero? It makes me a man who refuses to be a prop. By lunch, she'd moved her clothes into the guest room and posted a neutral caption, taking time offline to focus on family and work. Comments flooded in, but they were boring and harmless, and I didn't care. I got a text from Jess. She's furious. But she signed. I'm out. Be out, I replied. And take care of yourself. That evening, Tyler came by the shop with takeout. We ate at the drafting table. You were surgical, he said. I was awake. You think she's done? She'll try at least one more angle. He nodded. You prepared? I'm a boring man with a lockbox. I'm ready. 2 days later, she tested the door. She invited me to a neighbor's cookout, all smiles. On the patio, she gestured for me to speak in a half circle of friends. Scott's been controlling with money, she started, like she was dipping a toe back into the performance. I shook my head once and stepped up to the public line I'd promised myself to draw when needed. New rule, I told the group calm. Our marriage isn't for your popcorn. We're opting out of public takes. If you see a post about me, it won't be from me. That's all. A couple of people nodded. One guy, Miles, smirked, but kept his beer down. Lana blinked, then pivoted to talk about the potato salad. Illusion failed. We left early. Back home, she tried warmth again. I gave courtesy, not access. The following week, Eric went quiet on socials about the lake. His assistant sent a mass email about venue changes. Lana's lawyer, who had reached out to discuss a fair path after Murphy's, sent a one-liner. Per client instruction, we are not moving forward. My folder lived in the safe, untouched. 3 weeks later, I asked her to sit down at the table we used to use for Sundays. I'm listing the house, I told her. We'll sell and split what's fair after closing costs. You keep your Subaru. I'll take the truck. No buyouts. She stared at the wood grain. You're done. I'm finished trying to be liked by someone who doesn't respect me. You get a straightforward, clean exit. No drama. No narrative. You can't just end it like this. I'm not ending. I'm finishing. She tried anger. You're cold. I'm disciplined. She tried begging light. We have history. We have patterns. She tried insult. You're not exciting. Excellence is boring. Finally, she tried silence. That one worked on me for years. It didn't now. I'll have an agent reach out, I said. Keep the place tidy. Boxes are in the garage. You think you're punishing me. I'm removing myself from your strategy. Her eyes flashed. There it was, the plan recognized in the mirror. You will regret this, Scott. I regret staying past the point respect left. I stood, and she didn't follow. Closing day came fast. We signed, shook hands with a woman in a blazer who'd seen every version of our story and kept her face neutral. Lana moved into a small one-bedroom near the river with a view of a parking lot. The posts turned into quotes about growth in small spaces. Eric's content shifted to solo videos on courage. I rented a place first, then bought a modest house on a dead-end street with an oak tree that looks sturdy without trying. The kitchen is small and clean. The garage fits my truck and a workbench. I replaced the scuffed tailgate and didn't tell anyone. Marcus swings by sometimes after his shift with leftover wings. We talk about football and how quiet is a luxury. Danny keeps the shop humming, and I cut her a bonus because steady people deserve steady things. There's a woman in my life now, Allison. We met at the tile place when I was replacing the backsplash. She asked normal questions. I gave normal answers. We met for coffee at a diner where the cups are heavy and conversations aren't filmed. She runs a small landscaping company. She budgets like a general and laughs with her whole face. She respects a schedule and a yes/no. I don't talk about Lana with her much. I don't need to. Lana tried to call once after the move. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice sounded careful. I was thinking, she said, we could grab a coffee. No pressure. I deleted it. That wasn't cruelty. That was me not feeding old patterns. Jess bumped into me at the hardware store months later. She looked tired and lighter at the same time. You look good, she said. I sleep, I answered. Helps. She's different now, Jess added. Calmer, but not better. I hope she finds better anyway. She asked me to film a story last week. I said no. Keep saying no. Jess nodded. You did the right thing, Scott. I did the necessary thing. On the day I moved the last box into my new garage, I found the old folder at the bottom of a crate. I flipped through once. Transactions. The tailgate estimate. A printout of phrases like, men think they own you, and the lake key text. It felt like reading a script I'd outlived. I put the folder in the shredder. I didn't need trophies. I still get my coffee black. I still write budgets with pencils. I still believe in Sunday as a concept, even if it's on a Tuesday. Respect isn't complicated. It's pay as you go. You either put it on the table or you don't. The moment I stopped hoping it would show up by accident, my life got quiet and solid. The last time I saw Lana was across the street, in front of the old yoga studio by my shop. She had a tote bag and a new haircut, and she looked at me like she was about to try a different script. I smiled like you do at a neighbor you don't hate and don't need. She raised a hand, half wave. I nodded once and kept walking. I didn't know a speech. I owed myself a life. If she ever wondered what my final line was, she can have it